And good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Steam. I'm Ramon Scott, getting ready for the season opener of the NFL tonight. We've waited a long time for this ever since the Chiefs won the Super Bowl over the Eagles, and now we get them at home on Thursday night against a hungry Lions team. And the news on the Chiefs side is worrisome, and the news on the Lions side is wholesome and maybe, but we need an expert. We need someone who can give us the scoop on the game tonight. You guys in the chat, you know what's going on. You know why we're a little bit late getting on. We're getting ready to bring back the Midwest premier sports handicapper. Here she comes, Mindy Hahn.
It's like you guys didn't even
here. Thank you.
Thanks, Ramon. I'm just not feeling good, and I appreciate that and appreciate all the support. So thank you. I didn't think I would get all teary. What the heck?
I told you would not cry, actually, but actually,
I did. Yeah, right.
Maybe I might have planted that, but it doesn't matter. We'd rather catch you we'd rather, these people love you. I'm crying. They'd rather catch you at a vulnerable moment in this because it's going to be so fun tonight. Think how fun and excited. We're going to talk about this game for a half an hour. I would imagine it doesn't even because there's news in this game. I mean, there's big news. And we're going to need your expertise and Ron's expertise. What kind of what kind, is
I
there
was
already?
we had planned it, and then of course, Ron already tipped it off, saying, "Hey, watch Mindy show up with her hat on," right? So yeah, but I appreciate all the kind words. You guys were very nice while I was out, so I do appreciate all the kind words. We were talking about probably 85%, so I'm doing okay. So I'll be here for a little bit. Ramon will probably finish off the show for you, here today.
Yeah, we'll cover baseball with Mindy. We'll cover the WNBA game, and we might talk about this Lions-Chiefs game to start off the show.
My glasses. One moment.
Oh, isn't it wonderful, you guys? I mean, I didn't think I knew it was gonna. I told her right to her face it was gonna happen. It's because of you guys and your support for Mindy. So, really great how you guys are excited right now to see her blowing up the chat. Let's say hello to some folks. Well, I was gonna take my time just running all through all these comments. Like I said, there'll be some format changes moving forward, but we'll discuss those when the time is right. We got Mindy at least for a couple. We're going to see how it goes. Just give us 2 days. I'm not saying I pressured Mindy to come back for this game. She's like Travis Kelce right now, Mindy.
Right, coming in a wheelchair is pretty much it.
I got your mic just starting to crackle like it does only very rarely. I know she knows how to fix it.
If I take it out, how about that?
Give me no, not quite.
All right,
I'll
redo it.
Okay, yeah, you know what it is because it only happens like 1% of the time. And how about it, you guys? Oh, look at how excited I am with having Mindy here. Things are blowing up, so she'll be back with us in just a moment. She might even have to restart. So let's go through the comments, put them on screen. She's not going anywhere, guys. We won't be on for 2.5 hours, I'll tell you that much, as far as what we had with the show. I'm sure
I'm back on. How about that? Better? Yep. I might have hit the old computer there.
I know exactly how to fix it. We've done it a million times. We've done it, well, I wouldn't say a million times, but probably 300 times this show. Basically, I feel like we're working on it a year, maybe it's even been a year plus. And,
I was trying to think about when we first started, but I know it was about this time.
It felt like it was NFL season.
Right.
What it felt like to me. So I don't want to bore you. I just want to get you for a little while. If I can just have 45 minutes, an hour of your time today, I'll handle the college football continuing, and maybe we get Mindy. Maybe we can get into some of the additional NFL tomorrow. We'll plan a show. We'll have Mindy. We'll weed out some of that baseball. We got some baseball games today as well, but let's say hello to Mindy. You might say hello to each and every one of your friends.
I was like,
today.
Who's the Cajun stacker? I feel like I'm out of the loop there a little bit.
Yeah, not only that, but I think there might be people could actually be chiming in just to see because they're familiar with you. So. All right. maybe we can also discuss, get our Chiefs discussion going here, Mindy, the way everyone's talking. And
Right.
I was misled yesterday. I
Oh,
think I kind of bought into what the media was saying about this injury. I think I played it up too big, obviously, now, because there's no doubt that Travis Kelsey's now probably, questionable to doubtful for the game, or
sure.
maybe we could see him in a limited role, in a decoy role, in a straight up role. When I think of a player of his capabilities, I certainly think when you have the severity of a knee injury that it sounds like he has right now, that driving forward, working in the middle of the field is fine, but where he's so good in the end zone, where you need more cutting and maneuvering, might be where his limitations are in the game. Have you listened? There were some updates this morning, so I don't know if there's. I don't know. You know how it is in your neck of the woods. It's probably on already. Do you have any other information? Because sounds like he's actually going to try to give it a go.
Yeah, I mean, all I had kind of seen was basically on Twitter, right? The KC doctors out there saying, yeah, I mean, like the X-ray didn't necessarily look, all that great. So, I mean, I think he might be a little bit doubtful for sure coming into this one. I really don't know if he's going to play, nor maybe he should. Like, I don't even know why risk it. I know it's the big game. I know it's the kickoff. Everyone wants to be playing, but I'm not sure it's the right time.
That's a great point, because the big picture says right now this is not as I thought it was
I
more
still remember when Jamal Charles went out the first game versus
Oh,
the Lions, several years ago. Like, it's one of those things. Like, I don't think you want to lose Kelsey for the year by having him, try to get in there and play.
and there's some other players missing too, especially on the defensive side. So do you agree, Minnie, that I don't know, maybe I'm just buying into the news, but like I said, the news for KC, I mean, maybe that's why we've seen the line move. Of course, Kelsey's the one that's kind of moving the line here, his status, and a little bit of momentum for the Lions moving into the season. I think people are expecting them to improve again, but I don't know. Looks like probably the same old Lions, full of expectations and full of disappointment.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's going to be if Gibbs is going to be the guy or not, right? It's going to be interesting to see how the dynamic changes. I liked what they had done with Swift. I kind of liked it. And it's going to be interesting to see. I do think the unknown here is Goff. I feel like he's the Kirk Cousins. I talk about it all the time. He's the guy that can go out there and put up the 500 yards. He's also the guy that can go out and throw for 5 INTs. So, I mean, I'm not too worried about the young guys on the Chiefs. I think they definitely got better, those safeties. I'm not too worried about that. Maybe it might be a little bit of that line that's going to take a little bit into it. But I just think it's so hard with all of this projection for someone like me that likes to work with the numbers. So again, that's what I'm going to come with here later when we give our predictions.
So what is it, Mindy? Have you spoken with Ron in the Discord? Is there an active bet at this time?
There's got to be. I mean, like, that was like my main motivation for getting back here today.
That's right.
Sure.
That's
because
right.
I feel like we have to have this coffee challenge today. I don't think there's any choice but us getting it done here today. Mindy versus Ron, grudge match, top rope. So yeah, it looks like we'll probably just take the points, Ron. Is that what we're gonna do? Right? We'll be a spread challenge.
You feel like it's worth you gotta lay them some points. You feel like it's not quite fair with that, even the Chiefs. So let's come back to the game in just a moment. I want to say hello to everyone and welcome to the morning team on a very great day to have Mindy back. And she said 85%. That's a little bit better than Kelsey, I think, coming in. So we're happy to have you back, and maybe we can speed the show up with you here. Me just rambling with the chat, basically. Let's go over to Tony'sPicks.com.
But I do appreciate it, you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, I made you talk to go through because I didn't want to get.
Ah,
But
I didn't
you
think that
know
would
what I
happen
mean.
either. I
Let's
was like,
not
oh
read
yeah,
every
it'll be
one. You
fine.
might, yeah. Like I said, I teased. Maybe you heard it because you brought your phone on, but I told her on the air, you would not. But I think it kind of hinted that, so you were going to be happy to see these folks that
Yes, for
enjoy
sure.
your analysis. I mean, I'm sure that I know why I have you here, and I kind of teased Mindy that maybe our winning streak, which is kind of that I don't want to. I felt like it was like 9 weeks. I mean, there were 2 weeks in there that were a little bit in the red, but if you put the whole 9 weeks together, it was a profitable 9 week, a really strong 9 weeks. It felt like it somewhere around 30 to 40 units.
Sure,
And
especially
over the
just with
last week, right, because we boomed up the leaderboards at the site, and with a lot of good baseball, but we were on the air, and now the last week or so, 10 days, like you said, I think basically you had to tell me on a Monday, and here we are on Thursday. So, all
yeah,
right.
that's what the doctor said. I'd be gone about 10 days overall, so we
But you were
came pretty
doing
close.
your work too. You worked through this, and you had your plays in. And look at this. How do we know? Because Mindy went 3-1 yesterday. Premium pick winners with the Cubs and the rookie Wicks. You also had the Rockies and the Diamondbacks going over, and you had the Baltimore Orioles as premium play as well. Our plays on Morning Steam were again, here we are. They're going to turn up. They're going to turn up
All right,
today.
turn around. Here we go.
And thanks for everybody for the support, for all the subscriptions, for Mindy. I want to say over the time, Tiffany 3-2, Tony 2-1 yesterday as well. He had premium winners yesterday. He had the Orioles as well yesterday, as you did, and. Well, I actually had my lowest volume I think I've ever had on the site yesterday. Yeah, it's been a little bumpy here in September, Mindy, and I think you see the way the games are turning out with these bullpens. I don't know. I don't want to be that
These
guy.
bullpens have been pretty wild, that's for sure. Craziness.
We were able to come through with a few premium winners together yesterday, including the Astros. By the way, Tony had that one as well. We had the Mariners yesterday together every day. You got them in yesterday because of the early card, and actually read them off on the air. Only twice was I able to do that, but I was able to read them off on the air to everyone.
Oh yeah, okay.
And so yesterday we also had the Rays together for a winner. And so we had some premium winners. The Phillies over the Padres. Hello. Yeah. Got a bad 10 days with the Padres, Mindy. All right. Take a look yesterday. The profitable cappers, including Ralph Raymond. There's Mindy 3-1. Nick Lagaretos, good day, 8-3. Hollywood Sam, a winner. We mentioned for the last week. Nick Lagaretos up nearly a dime. Tony's been cooking 17-10. Having a good week. And for the month, so I'm up there still leading somehow. And well, looking forward to some football for sure. Like I said, I'll handle the college football today. Hey, head on over to Tony'sPicks.com and use the promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 20% off all of our premium pick packages for today. Head on over to the homepage, scroll on down past these handicapper leaderboards, and get to the latest premium picks, multi-game packs from our staff, 3 games, 5 games, 7 games, you name it. Here they are, Collins, Tony, and Ben with packages today. This discount best bets up there for Nick, for Ben, for Probby. He's got one in college football. Do have the FCS game. I might throw in a pick there. I don't know if you looked at it, Mindy. It's kind of an ugly game with Murray
The only one I
State.
saw was Louisville, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 6 touchdown spread. So it's one of those you got to thread the needle a little bit. And Probby's got his NFL opener. I'm sure Mindy might have an NFL opener. I think we're going to find out.
It's going to be there. It's going to be there.
Let's go back to we got to get to the show and get you some more rest. Just want to get you on today, and we'll plan a good show tomorrow too. See if we can get that extra 15%. Can you enjoy the game? Is it like coffee and tonight, or can you enjoy a little cocktail? How do you feel? How do
I
you enjoy
I'm
this one, Mindy?
yeah, it's like I'm currently not on I'm on like a little antibiotic. So they say what, no alcohol, but I don't know how much it's really gonna hurt it
Oh,
today.
okay. Whoa. Okay. Well, hopefully your physician is
No
all.
one's taking medical advice from me, right?
Yeah, hopefully your doctor maybe watches the show. They know what's good for them on their bankroll. All right.
Right.
Head back over and a few more comments and get started. Get back to my show routine with. It was a little different without you. It was a
I'm
lot of
sure it was
me.
hard, when you're used to the banter to suddenly have to do it all yourself, right?
It was a lot of me rambling. Sure that and viewership was down about 33%. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. So these people obviously are very fond of you. Let's go back over, see if there's a few more comments, and then we'll get into the picks. A few more greetings for you, my friend. Gerardo said, "Welcome back," and Brent says she's back. And JD says, "How about the public capper? Is it every capper service? I usually will check that and see. Maybe I've been a little bit behind schedule on that. Some information that I've been kind of adding to the feature a little bit, Mindy. When I kind of scroll, now that we're in football, kind of scroll the other cappers a little bit. I don't care if anybody frowns on that. Let's see what people are on." And JD says everyone's giving out Detroit. Okay, we'll see. We're going to get either a side or a total from Mindy, and I imagine the other play is going to be her premium. She's going to
How
want to
did
be
you
in action.
know? Man,
Well, we're
it's
going to be in action tonight. I don't even know which
I
way. I know which way I'm going, but I don't know
do
if
too.
I'm going to agree or disagree. So, all right,
Yeah,
we'll see. Ron, fired up. We're almost ready here. Hey, want to say so? Here's Daphne Seals, who we probably haven't met before, but
exactly.
obviously has
There's lots of
watched the
folks that I
show and
haven't
is
heard from. Yeah,
right. Probably a fan that just I would say Daphne probably just came to say hi because
right.
we don't hear pics or anything, so that's great. All right. Uh, maybe we'll talk. Maybe we talk a few. We've got I want Mindy for at least 5 or 10 more minutes on the game tonight, and we'll make the pick. All right. Let's see. Make sure we got everybody in here. Okay, let's go. We're only 10 minutes behind schedule, but that was expected. And let's get to the big game. Where we left. I don't know where we left off. We can just go over the spread. And here it is with the
Yeah,
Chiefs.
let's do it.
Yeah, they were as much as a 6.5-point favorite, but the injury cycle, Chiefs missing a 15 sack guy in there, really, and a little bit of momentum with the Lions. Will they be improved? We thought last year they were improved, and of course, everybody remembers when Goff was with the Rams, one of the most exciting regular season games in league history, and one of the most incredible games in league history. Still going into Arrowhead Stadium. That much hasn't changed, Mindy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think most of it has to do with where these teams, basically left off last season, right? I mean, the Lions went on this huge, giant run there at the end. I mean, it was pretty impressive to see. I think the coaching staff, they kind of look like they're a cohesive unit here right now as well. I mean, they were just so hot that second half of last season. I just still think it's an unknown. Plus, you have to come into some hostile territory here at Arrowhead. I mean, people are, sending questions out saying, is parking free and is the beer free? Well, I don't know if the parking is, but I'm sure the beer will be free flowing here. But yeah, I just really still like the Chiefs here tonight. I don't see, I feel like Goff, you put a little pressure on him. I feel like he's just the one that makes more mistakes. That's just kind of how I feel about it. It's going to be a game of mistakes. All of these games here are going to come down to a 3-4 point victory, I think, especially early on here in the season. And this is kind of how I look at it too, right? If I take a look at the history of the number here, the home faves, they're 12-6 in this first 4-week window, -6 open, -6.5 open, when that number has gone to a lower spread there as well. So I'm definitely going to go ahead and take the Chiefs tonight, sitting at the -4.5 here today.
Well, if Mindy's going to come back on the show and we're going to have a great time tonight watching the game, we got to be on the Chiefs. We got to be on the Chiefs together here. Frankie on Detroit. Brent says, "Give me the Chiefs." Look, I hope Detroit has a better season. I think I'm wrong. Believe me, Ron, when I say it. They've been money on the road, no doubt about it. But these, the way they set up this Super Bowl champion home game thing, look, they're going to have to overcome when I always say like, oh, is there 2 points of value here? Is there 2.5 points of value? No, the restrictions, I think, on Kelsey are a big, big deal. One thing to note, I don't know if anybody's talking about props in the chat here yet, but the Lions were really bad at containing quarterback rushing yards last year. Even some really pedestrian, like Aaron Rodgers had a 40-yard game.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I imagine when you're taking Kelsey out of the equation, whether he participates or not, gets in there. Like I said, when you have instability in your knee, really it may be weaker, but you brace it up, you can drive forward. It's like cutting is tough, right? Especially if we're talking about what sounds like to be borderline, maybe I can stop talking Kelsey. I mean, you're basically feeling like he's, closer to doubtful than questionable.
Sure.
So,
I'm not sure if he's going to get in, honestly. I'm going to handicap this game based off of him not. How about that?
Okay. Yeah. And how about the departure of Bieniemy, the creativity? Does that go away, or is that part of Reed?
I don't know. I have no idea how that's going to impact things, right? I mean, like it's another one of those weird unknowns. But yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. We got nothing on that.
And talking about, boy, these early they seem to be. I mean, look, this total's inflated. This is Detroit and Kansas City, so I get it. But Kansas City games at home, Mindy, I don't know if you got it there, you recited it. It's I think it's like 44.5 is like the average score of a game in Kansas. I'm not talking about the total. I'm talking about if you look over the last couple of seasons, they add them up. Average score of a final game in Arrowhead it might be 46, but I think it's closer to 44. Somewhere around.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it's not one of those that historically the Chiefs have blown anyone out, nor, like you said, have really just totally crushed a score. These have come down to defensive plays, especially early on, right? I always think Mahomes tends to struggle a little bit. I mean, you could probably take a look at him throwing an interception today. It's just kind of been the way it is. But I just don't think we can ask for a better matchup. I think it's going to be great, especially with all the expectations for this Lions team, and especially in that division that they're in.
Mindy gave out those great stats and, Super Bowl champs. Now, they've been running this deal like about 10 years or so with the special Thursday, right? We haven't been doing it, but over the last 20 years, Super Bowl champs, 11-6-3 ATS in week 1. So that is a way they pump it up, especially, we've seen it before in Kansas City as well. They've won 7 straight home openers, but just 4-3 against the spread in those 9-2 ATS against NFC. And we're on a Mindy. Let's take Kansas City here.
Right.
Plenty of another thing. I mean, it feels like Detroit's a public dog. I don't want a public dog here in this game. I would rather roll on the possibility. I would more apt to lay additional points and take higher plus money tonight with Kansas City than I would want to buy Detroit back up to a touchdown or something. So, Londo says everyone does like the under. I don't know if I felt that way, but we'll see. Sounds like Mindy and I all have premiums on the total here because we're going to be rolling.
Right.
And Latifah's here, Mindy, to say hello.
Hello. Yes, I'm and thankful again for you guys reaching out on the Discord. I appreciate that.
Great to have you back. We're going to move on to, we've got baseball. We'll look at all the games and then we'll start. I think this will be the last official, especially with our crummy 6-game card here today. Hello, Latifa, as well. Thank you. And okay, one thing I had to do several times, Minnie, when you're rambling on for 2 hours straight, is take a drink. Like dip to cut the.
Yeah.
I'd like put the logo up and get a swig. But with you here, I would actually explain to people like, oh, this is where Mindy talks, and you need to move my browser over here. But right now she's not here. Okay.
Right.
But now when you give your preview, I can move things around. So, all right, we get a 6-game card here with the Dodgers and the Marlins. And, the Dodgers yesterday, they got creamed again by the Marlins.
11-4. It was just, I don't know what the heck's been going on with them.
Yeah, we took them yesterday, but it's funny. That's actually a place where the Dodgers have had some adventures in the past, so I'm not too worried about it here. But they are going up against Braxton Garrett, Pepio here, and current line. Dodgers going to be a road favorite at a pretty low price. I mean, we're getting probably as low as a price you're going to get on these days still on the Dodgers, unless they're facing an elite pitcher, and I don't think we can put Garrett in that category.
Yeah, I mean, it's been wild with, like you said, the misadventures of this Dodgers team here as of late. I mean, I was actually kind of surprised. I mean, I kind of thought they would run up against the Marlins and not really have a hard time. Marlins have now won 6 out of their last 8, playing well offensively. This one's tough for me. I still think I'm going to come back on the Dodgers. I mean, I feel like I'm just really not quite a believer yet in this Marlins team, even though they've been kind of proving me wrong here. But I like the Dodgers at just minus $1.25 here today.
I do too. I mean, I just see $1.25 and I see the Dodgers. I got all these, computers telling me Dodgers as well. So I would think with Pepio in here and Dodgers are losing, Dodgers on a losing streak, Marlins on a winning streak. There's nothing but let's see if the chat's going to be involved here in this one. And here's Dodgers for Jamal. And Perky. Oh, Perky. I don't like do not bet lists. I mean, you got to just be, one right. Next day is another day. So, look at that. I got a compliment for handling things, but people stuck around. All right, here's JD going under. And that crazy race in the National League still going on. The Marlins have kind of gained the upper hand here at this point. So I don't know, surprisingly a little bit, but maybe they'll get in there. Josh says Dodgers. Javier today. Welcome, Javier. Nice to have you commenting. Latifa is going over. Londo's going over. It's good. Yeah, Latifa. I don't know. Mindy's back, so I've got Latifa here. That's what All right.
Yeah, Latifa said she was on vacation.
Okay. So cool. I thought she was just ignoring me. Javier going over, and Sincere Gifted says Dodgers today. So, maybe for the Dodgers, but we got Mindy and I have to make picks, so we'll take the Dodgers here in this one. I don't have a problem with what's. I did have a problem with Lance Lynn because I always talk him up, and I've been on his bandwagon, of course, and he's done well, but did have struggles yesterday. So let's take the Dodgers here with Pepio. Tony likes Pepio. I know that. I could tell by the inflection in his voice, and he talks about him. All right. Here's the Mariners and the Rays. This is feels like a playoff matchup here in this one. And we know that this will be a good series here with Castillo. Rays certainly right now with a rookie pitcher, they're an underdog. Castillo about $1.30 and the total 8.5 under 25. Total's going lower.
Yeah, I mean, what's been going on? I bet the Mariners wish they could get Seawald back. I mean, their closer now is sitting at 3-7. It's not a good look for this Mariners bullpen. I kind of feel like right now, no lead is safe. I feel like Castillo should get this lead, should be winning. man, I'm just unsure with what goes on with that Mariners bullpen. They have like little room for error. I mean, the Rays can lose a couple of games and still be okay, but this Mariners team just can't. I just feel like it's going to be kind of some of the same old, same old. I'm going to go ahead and go over the total here, Ramon.
Okay, Mindy says go over this 8.5. It just feels. I agree with what you're saying, but I feel like the total just came a little bit too high for me at 8.5 actually. So I wasn't sure necessarily the points you make. I agree because you look at the way these two teams are trending. What, dear?
Those bullpens are just
no doubt about it. And every time right now, feels like the Mariners when they win a game, kind of similar to yesterday. I mean, it was 8-4, but you feel like in a way they get lucky to not get a good start, get some work out of the starter.
What was it?
You got
7-1, 7-2, 7-3. It starts to get scary. Like that's just how it's kind of been. It's just crazy.
Okay, well, that puts me on Seattle then because at least I've got Castillo here. Hopefully, look, he's solid right when he needs to be right now. These are still important games. I mean, Seattle's in the playoffs, but Castillo 3.09 in his last 5 starts, and the Mariners have gone 6-1 in his last 7 starts. So with Tampa Bay, they're still hot, no doubt about it. Mariners had a rough weekend in Cincinnati, but maybe this will be a more familiar scene. Mindy on the over. I'll take Seattle. Tigers and Yankees here with this is what I was making fun of. I was like, if Mindy and I get together, this will be one we want to eliminate, but don't want to be kicking the Yankees off the show. Anyways, they're favored here, of course, $1.55, and the total is 8.5. There has been some steam that come in, some widely reported steam on the over here, but it's only moved about a nickel.
Well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and take the Tigers here on the run line. I just feel like it's just way too much right now to be laying minus 170 here with this Yankees team, especially after the Tigers have some confidence. Just put out a road sweep. Plus, you got Rodriguez on the mound. He's probably one of the more reliable guys out there. So I kind of see this one as the Tigers can definitely go ahead and stay in this one. We got Rodon. I mean, just hasn't been good at all. 5.7 ERA, 493 slugging percentage, 493 on his splits. Like, just not looking so good. I'm going to take the Tigers on the run line.
Okay, but he says on these Tigers, maybe look at the price. It's high. You got 2 teams that are, well out of. They are out of contention. The Yankees are sticking them up there still, but they're still just a game over 500. Detroit, well back of that, certainly. I will say this. I do think that the Tigers are going to get attention from some of those internet handicappers that JD was talking about. I've already seen in the forums a little bit here in this one. They steamed that 8. I think they actually steamed it down at 8, so maybe there's been a little bit of buyback here. I think the price is okay for. I don't know if the Tigers can win. I've got the under here, a solid play on the under. I wanted to go premium here as under, and especially at 8.5. I'm just not going to be on the Tigers with you. Rodon's looked okay to me, 2.87 in his last 3 starts. Yankees aren't winning those games. That's a problem. But 2-7 in his 9 starts so far. That's not great. So that does favor what you were saying. All right. Mindy on Detroit, I'll take under. All right. Cardinals.
Under.
Why weren't everybody on the Cardinals yesterday, right? Everybody was talking about the high prices and, we're in September. These odds are going to go through the roof. St. Louis got up on top of Atlanta early. Strider had his worst game of the season. Still looks like the best pitcher in the league to be half the time. But Cardinals get the win. And here we had to get Mindy, off of her bed and tell us more about Adam Wainwright.
Right. Yeah, I saw yesterday they were presenting him a plaque. I was wondering why what did it say? Wayno? I was like, why is Wayno trending? I didn't even know that was a thing. I have to keep up to date on all my good stuff here with that 8.1 ERA. I mean, the good thing is that I think he has been even worse on the road with a 8.67 ERA, 450 slugging percentage. So, I mean, I just think that this is not going to be the case of a Cardinals sweep versus the Braves. I think the Braves just jump all over this one here today. I'll take them on the run line.
I mean, just take the Braves here on the run line, even after what happened yesterday.
And the day before.
Hey, we got Max Fried. I mean, he's been hot. 2.55 ERA in his last 4 starts, and 8-3. And Wayno, your buddy.
I was like, Wayno, what's that? What's trending? Okay.
When you thought it was a new delivery service delivering bottles of refreshment,
right?
Great refreshment to your door.
I was like, "Ooh, I need to check to see what that is, just in case it is wine delivery."
Oh boy, Mindy, this even at what is the run line here? $1.75 or something? I'm probably not gonna. Probably not.
I had it down to like minus 145, so not terrible. Not terrible.
All right. Well, maybe the Braves gave Wayno a plaque. That was a very nice gesture. So let's go. I'm going to go. If it's 10.5, I'll go under here and hope he doesn't get shelled, or at least Max Fried has a good start. Both these teams are kind of trending over. But Wainwright under in 3 straight with that 8.44 ERA in his last 6 starts. And he's really actually had a great career against Atlanta, but that was old Wainwright. And
not the new Wainwright.
Yeah. We'll mention Max Fried, though. 4 starts against the Cardinals on 0.34 ERA. Whoa. All right. Oh, well, let me get the chat here. Did I miss them on the last game? I feel bad. Did I? Are they yelling at me there? In that Tigers Yankees, did I not take their plays? I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just so excited with Mindy back. I just skipped all their plays on the Atlanta game. Corbin Smith here to say hi from the network and doesn't often comment, and so he's here to say hello.
Hello.
All right, let me. Now all of a sudden, when I want Cardinals and Braves, none of you guys are up for the game. Up for this one here. Over. These guys are going over. I'm going under. All right, Braves better win. Not much on the betting portion, it feels like, with this one. And who can blame them? Oh, here's some. I just missed them. Latifa with Atlanta, Jamal Atlanta. We laying $3, gang?
Right.
I'm sure, I don't know. Maybe I'll be on St. Louis plus 3.5. All right. On the Wainwright retirement tour, he's getting presents in every city now. It's late in the year, so. All right. Welcome, David Burns, of course,
from Texas.
Here we go with the Diamondbacks and the Cubs. And here we have the D-backs are favored in this. The Cubs are favored, of course, with Javier Assad, $1.75. And, I'm showing now all the way down to $1.60 here, the total 8.5. Steam on the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, I mean, I think Assad has really adjusted well into the starter role here for the Cubs. He's gone at least 6 innings in 4 of those starts. So getting those quality starts here hasn't really allowed too many runs. Arizona is going to counter with Nelson. I think he's been not too shabby either. If I take a look at his splits, he's only allowing like a 200 slugging percentage. So those numbers are right in line. I think this one's going to be a good one. I'm going to go ahead and take the under. I'm looking for a big pitching duel here. Assad, again, that slugging average he gives up versus this Diamondbacks team is 230. Has a 33.3% K rate versus this Diamondbacks team. I like it today to be a big under game. I'm going to go ahead and go under 8.5 runs, Ramon.
Well, I certainly like under 8.5 in this one. I don't big time under, but feels like an under. Cubs have been going under. They've gone under in 8 of their last 10 games. Assad has great numbers in his last 5 starts. ERA under 2. And Nelson, we're not getting much from him right now. 9 ERA in his last 4 starts, but Arizona on the road. I'm going to go under with you. I'm going to take the under in this one. And
Okay.
interesting that steam came in on the Diamondbacks. That's going to need a little investigation. Let's see. Go to the chat. Don't forget about the chat. I think that was just a result of me, out of sync with you.
We're getting back into the whole rhythm of things here.
And I said that once Mindy got back, we'd pick up the winning again. Maybe just wasn't there, and that we were texting, getting the plays, and I'm sure you were working hard. I mean, I felt bad some days where I'm like, oh no, if the games are early, I wanted them to be late. And
yeah, I did too. That's for sure. I didn't want to get up.
Okay. David talking about yesterday's game with the Cubs' impressive victory. Yeah, Mindy had them yesterday over the Giants. So Jamal on the D-backs, a little bit of support for the D-backs here. Brent Cook. All right. And the last one, I think got some question marks, actually. Maybe I'm going to peek at it here before I flash it up on the screen. Maybe some of the information has – no, it really hasn't. I don't know what we're looking at here. So maybe you have something, or who did you plan for? I don't think I've seen any kind of line at this point, but I'm expecting Quantrill, and I think Griffin Canning. Maybe what's going on with
these are your Angels.
I don't know.
I knew Canning for sure. I knew Canning for sure. I knew Canning for sure, but I didn't know what the Guardians were putting out for sure.
Okay. So Canning. So that is interesting, because I was more sure of Quantrill than I was of Canning.
Oh, okay.
But did you with given the late time, are you just giving up on the Angels this year?
Well, totally. I mean, just totally. I just feel like there is, nothing good. Oh, yeah, I do look back and I see they do have Cal Quantrill back here. But yeah, I mean, I just feel like it just has gone really downward spiraling. It seems like the same old stuff, right? That's kind of how I feel here as of late. Plus, you finally got a Guardians team that's really does have something here to play for, and they've been really, really good. They've had a 690 on base percentage here over the last 10 days, and the Angel relievers have been terrible. They might as well be sitting next to the Mariner guys. 9.79 ERA over the last 10 days. It's just been awful. Oh, give me the Guardians here today, Ramon.
All right, Mindy says take the Guardians in this one. Cal Quantrill. I think like I said, I think Canning is the one we're waiting for, and I don't feel totally sure on it. Maybe it's an opener. Things are a little. Hello to Mills. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for passing along a nice prop tonight in the Chiefs game. It was nice enough to stop by. Let me pop that up there. Thank you very much. Maybe right. There were some interesting options now, especially for the first touchdown, I think, moving forward tonight. But all right, Mindy, Angels 7-25 in their last 32 games. They're 1-9.
7-25. They should all have to put their paychecks back. They should have to give it back.
2-7 since you were on the air last with us. So Quantrill's been pretty bad, though. 0-4 with an 11 ERA in his last 5 starts. I'm going to gamble here and take the over, whatever it is. And, there's been no line out. I'm going to actually, if it's Quantrill and Canning, a couple times, Mindy, we played Bookmaker, and one game we were kind of off. I'm sure the Guardians will feel like they'll be a slight favorite here to me in this one because of the Angels' woes. The Guardians have won 7 of their last 5. I'm going to make the Guardians $1.20.
Hey, I'll take $1.20 minus 125. There we go. Perfect.
Okay. 125, and I think the total here is probably going to be, I'll say 9 under 15. Just making up lines here. So, Brent, no, it doesn't. Today is the first day of the NFL season.
Right.
Don't worry about any. We're not worried about any thing other than hello to Tucker Boy as well. All right. We're going to preview the WNBA game tonight with Mindy. Then we'll let her go, and I'll try to cover some more college football, and we'll get Mindy back on so we'll just measure her stamina.
That sounds good.
And see what we can do tomorrow. If you want to do NFL, well, tomorrow, and I'll push the college to Saturday when I come on. I think we'll give Mindy the weekend off. We're almost done with Mindy here, so I want to tell everyone that she'll be joining us today and tomorrow, and I think we'll give her, rest up on the weekend and then come back strong for Monday. But I know she wanted to get on the air with the Chiefs tonight. I have a feeling that if it was the Eagles and somebody, we would be seeing you next Monday.
Eagles, Giants, Eagles, Cowboys.
And Greer here also joining us from the Two Old Ladies Network. So thank you, Greer, as well. We got a lot of viewers over there. So
I know, and I haven't been on to stream it. So thanks for you guys coming back here today. Because I'm sure they were like, hey, what's going on? Why is the show not streaming? And so.
Yeah, we could have worked on that, but no big. We're here now. Okay, let's go WNBA with one game tonight with the Sparks and the Liberty. Actually, we misfired last time, Mindy, but I thought we were going to get the money there at the end. I did give out the under on the show yesterday, but it was the Fever defeating the Storm yesterday and getting the money against us. But it's all right. We're going to come back here today and take a look at this one with the Sparks and the Liberty, and see. I think Liberty here favored by 7-ish, and the total. I'm sorry. There must be an injury situation or something has occurred here, Mindy. If I'm just rambling like I don't know what I'm talking about, yeah, I just had the line wrong. Right? Here's Liberty are 12.5 and 159.5. Just had the graphic. I think I had an old game. I think that was yesterday's game. Right? Yeah. No, that's too high. Whatever the case may be, I'm sorry. 12.5, 160.5. And that's pretty much hasn't been anything like 7. It's been this.
Yeah, I mean, the spread's going to be a little bit tough for me. I have it coming in right at about that. I have it, the Liberty winning by like 13-ish. So don't really want to have too much to do with that. So I'm going to go ahead and go over the total here. If I take a look at the way that these two teams, especially playing from 2 right now, the Liberty, they're shooting, a pretty good percentage. They're getting almost 60 points a game from 2. The Sparks 52. I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. Oh.
we almost
made a deal. Like I didn't want to like totally sneeze.
We almost right. That's when the show with
it's just going off the rails, Ramon.
Time has come to an end for our show today. But go ahead. Did you have other comments?
Yeah, but I'd like to overhear. I mean, I think these two teams are pretty efficient from 2. They each average about 9 to 10 3-pointers a game. I think this one gets over the total.
Mindy says take the over here with the Sparks and the Liberty. Well, I do like the over. I think it's actually come a little bit too high for my liking, but for your first day back, I'm going to gamble. I'm going to gamble here.
Right.
I hope the subscribers don't mind, and I hope I do. New York's gone over in 4 of 6, and I think the Sparks might actually be in this game. I'm not sure that it's a good spot for a Liberty blowout. That's all. There's no doubt they should be able to handle the business here, especially with LA.
Tougher time at home than on the road too, blowing folks out.
Yeah, well, it seems like there's just personnel issues right now that could be affecting. I think that's why I'm not saying the spread's higher. That was just an error on my part. But let's see. I thought last game. I mean, they've got. Yeah, NECA's going to be a game time decision again, it looks like. So that's going to be a tough situation. But I don't know. They've had a Sparks have an okay season, and I'm not sure Liberty are all keyed up. I mean, we're really in the drive here to get to the. We're almost through our WNBA season, Mindy.
Yeah. What do we got? Just a couple more days. I think till the 15th or so.
Take the over 160. We might even find a 159.5 out there, but maybe not. Actually, it looks like it's trending just a little bit higher. So, all right. Thank you so much, Mindy.
You're welcome.
I'm going to preview some. If anybody wants to stick around, we about lost half the audience when I do college football. But again, I'm just taping, and we'll see what you want to do with the show, and maybe we can have a plan for each day moving forward. We get you back on your work routine, and like I said, we'll have some news going forward with Mindy and how the show format will change slightly. I believe starting next week. So just appreciate you, thank you, love you, and so happy that you're feeling well. And if everybody's kind of saying their salutations to you a little bit now, and that's it. I mean, if we had 100% Mindy, believe me, we'd be going on forward here with some picks like we were gonna do. So,
well, thank you. I appreciate all the kind words. I appreciate you, Ramon, and everyone here at Tony's Picks. So, thanks you guys for tuning in every day and watching us as well.
Thanks a lot, Mindy. I'm gonna stick around and make sure we'll text and get it together right away. I'll probably be here for another 45. I'm gonna do 10 games right now. If you want to stick around and watch on YouTube, and I'll see if you agree with any of these play. Because Mindy, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna let you go right now. One of the games I'm gonna do, and I'll just cover it with you just a little bit. I know you're.
I wonder what it's gonna be.
All right, Mindy, the Iowa Hawkeyes are favored by. Huh? Was that?
That one. I thought you were going to do Nebraska, Colorado. You're doing Iowa State.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, do you want to comment at all before I let you go? I did preview the game already, so I didn't know if you wanted to come back and talk about it. I mean, it's obviously the big news. I just don't even want to let you go right now. Big hug.
I know.
But, do you want to comment? What did you think about this? I've been very outspoken on the game. If you want to know it, I won't bore everybody. They've been here all week. So
tell me about it.
Honestly, and the big shift in the line, of course, because of the way the teams are trending.
I mean, I don't know what your thoughts were on the game. So I'm coming into it blind, so we'll see. But props to this Colorado team to totally go ahead and get it done. But again, I kind of feel like our expectations for TCU might have been a little bit too high for me. What did they have? 96 new guys perhaps out there on the field. Colorado only averaged 1.7 yards per carry. That TCU team 7.1. I don't think Nebraska matches up terribly, actually, versus this Colorado team, especially on the defensive side. I mean, Nebraska holding down, a fleck team to 13 points. I don't think that's anything, really to sneeze at. I'll give the Huskers a chance in this one. I'd probably take them only because all that money is going on Colorado. They said it might be the biggest sports gambling game of the weekend. So I'm pretty excited for it.
Okay, and no, I'm on. Actually, I think I gave out the total. Maybe I can't say right now what I'm doing. I gave out the over. How's that, Mindy? But what I did say about the maybe you are curious, but I do like the what Colorado is doing. Yeah, maybe TCU might be just a mediocre team, but Colorado is undergoing the biggest. I'm sure you've had to make some huge adjustments in just one game. I mean, you probably have moved Colorado's power ranking from, I don't know, maybe from as many as 11, 12, 14 points. I don't think you could go higher than 16, but if you look at what the public is doing, a little bit mentioned it. I mean, it could be a 21 point, the way the public talks about it. For me, right. I'm just disappointed not giving my play. I gave out the over because I do have concerns, even with, if Nebraska can get some kind of offense together. But
Sims is by far the best player on that team, and Nebraska's going to be undersized and undermatched all season. I mean, The receivers are 5'10", the safeties are 5'10". I mean, you're going to match up against some guy that's 6'4", and you're going to lose that battle all day. So
Well,
I think Nebraska needs to get back to their old Nebraska and run the ball. We pass way too much again.
no, it feels like Rule's the guy to fix things. We've had the comedy
He's
a little bit.
a great defensive coach, but offensively, his teams have never been real good. So
Well, that's not good if you're. That's not pumping me up if you're. As a fan, as the level of Nebraska fan that I am, I don't know if I mirror your, but it's just disappointment after disappointment. I thought last year was actually pretty okay. The way that win some of their wins. So I just think going into the road in a game that they were, gearing that Colorado has their sights totally zeroed in on feels very uncomfortable to me. But I don't know if Colorado's good enough, and I think that Nebraska may still end up with some offensive success, especially that. I even said on the air, like I gave out the play, and I'm like, "Whoops, it's 59." I kind of thought it was a little bit lower than it was, but again, with Colorado and everything. So, all right, I'll let you go. But did want to?
No, you want to do Iowa State?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, a little comedy here.
This one is going to be like first team to 3 wins.
I was actually going to say it just like that. I was going to say, Mindy, I've got the total here at 13. Which is kind of is comedy, but it really
not at the same time.
36 looks high. Maybe it should be realistically 32 or 33 or something. It feels like to me now. Anything can happen. You can have a few goofy scores or whatever, and there it goes. But if the teams execute to the best of their abilities, and there aren't any, defensive, and that's part of it. I mean, that's handicapping, but. Doesn't seem much hope for the offenses in the game at all. The steam came in on the over. Good for us.
Yeah. Are we taking a consensus play on that? For sure.
We definitely can. Well, I figured we might still match up with all the card if you have time. Okay. I think we want to get our subscribers our plays on the entire college card. So I don't know, but that's a little bit of work.
I'll get it. I got my.
We did last week, right? We did last week, right?
Yeah, we did. We did the whole thing.
So we might be able to, we'll crank it out a little. We'll get you going on that. So, for me, I guess, it's a play because we know it's a play. I was going to do that as a preview so I can actually skip this one, right, on my segment here. I can drop that game. We just did the game. Let me just put up the graphic at least, and then they'll see it when they're editing the thing. This has been the Iowa State preview. I hope the editors, I think the way I interpret it, poor editors have to watch our show every day. We're glad your folks are somewhat entertained. And so Iowa State, we are on the under here as a consensus play. Maybe I'll just save my premium there, though, Mindy. I think I do like a side. I don't know if you even hinted at what you thought. I think you were just saying under. I don't know. I didn't get anything from you on that, so we won't press you.
It's a secret, yeah.
All right. Plus, it's just Iowa State, but I know you'll be. I should have known about the Huskers and of course, this week and get your feel for where they stand. But I thought that game would be funny to tease you with, too, because of the pedestrian offenses. This is going to be hilarious, I would think. But I think we tried that. I think they tried that last year. Well, okay. Thanks so much. We'll catch you tomorrow. We'll catch you. Do you need 12 hours sleep after this?
At least. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if we can make it up the stairs. We'll see.
Great job. Thank you. Thanks, everybody in the chat. Stick around if you want some college football previews. I'm going to do 9 games and hopefully get them done here. We're just in for an hour, so we're doing good. The show's going faster with you, Mindy. Thank you. Text me later. Tell me what.
I will. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone. Wasn't that great? Oh, man. She actually she volunteered to do more work with us on some pro and college football. I hope no one takes offense to it. I asked her to please just join us, not hogging the air like the other days, but you could see her, getting it done with us, right? You could see that she was on the mend a little bit, and that was incredible. So when you miss someone for 10 days like that, we're not going to overblow it, but I was so I was overwhelmed a little bit as well with her emotion. Thank you, Mindy. All right, guys, if you want to get into the few more college football games now, I'll gather my bearings a little bit. And, my heart pitter-patter when she first came on the screen with us. There's one game tonight. I've mentioned it. Actually going to give out a play here on the game between Murray State and Louisville. We don't do any FCS, but I am firing on FCS games in premium plays with mixed results so far, but usually pretty solid. There was solid in FCS last year on the site. So we got a chance here because of the limited schedule today to maybe take a peek at this one between Murray State and Louisville. It's a thread the needle special here. He's got 42-point spread, and the total here is 55.5. And I think Louisville can cover this number, actually. I think what we see right now from the Cardinals is good enough to get this done. Could be even a shutout here. Murray State, obviously, they're expected probably to get one touchdown, it looks like here to me. One touchdown could actually be a little bit dangerous here, but I'm going to end up, because if you think about it, 49-7, 49-7 is 56 points. So it's going to have to be nearly a shutout here tonight to get it done. I do kind of, think that it's right. When I say thread the needle special, I'm going to say it's going to be 45-3, 48-3, 45-0, 40. I think Louisville can get this money. I think it's going to be very close to that 42. It might be 42-0. It might be 42-3. It might be 45-7. It's going to be right in there. I don't think there's any way. I'm not sure that Murray can get two scores here even in this one tonight. I think the spread, it's all laid out, all for you right there. David Burns from Cedar Hill, Texas says, I say Louisville all the way. All right, that's our one FCS game. So we're going to pick up where we left off yesterday with some games. This will be in the, interestingly, we went over the noon games yesterday, noon Eastern, and the next group of games, there's no 1 Eastern, 2 East, they go right to 3:30. Maybe these we always laugh when they say these, like it's all some big gigantic plan, and it is sometimes. You'll see this next season. The NHL is really going to get into some exciting scheduling with several days, almost every day during the week when there's a lot of games. They go off at every 10 to 15 minutes. So when you want to watch the end of games too, it's going to be rapid fire finishes in the NHL. They are coordinating their start times a little bit. It's going to make a little bit of difference at the gate as well. So NHL season is approaching. Okay, I'm just talking so I can gather my bearings here and get ready for a little college football. These videos will be up. Here we go. I'm going to start off with the game with Western Michigan and Syracuse. This one was a time change, so it's early in the rotation order. Game number 305 and 306. Syracuse here is a 23.5-point favorite, and the total is 57. This is about as high as the line has been at this point. Syracuse was as low an opener at 19. It also opened around 52.5. There was a little bit of a look ahead number that was much lower than that, but there's been a lot of action here. Looks like public action to a certain extent. The number is actually getting a little bit high, it feels like right now, if it's 57. So let's get a little bit of a preview here on this one if we can. Syracuse covered both their games so far. They won 52-33 as a 4.5-point favorite in the last meeting between these two teams back a couple of years ago. They've been high-scoring games when these two have gotten together. Syracuse and Western Michigan. That's why I said Syracuse is won and covered both those meetings. Syracuse this year, make it clear right now that they beat Colgate 65-0. They had all 65 points by the end of the third quarter. They were a 37-point favorite in that one and out game. They held Colgate to 100 yards pretty much. Western Michigan beat St. Francis, so they played a smaller school, 35-17. They were a 14-point home favorite, and they had a edge of about 200 yards in that game. So you have Syracuse, they're pretty experienced here, but man, this line's going up pretty high at this point. Steam came in here obviously on Syracuse. Look, they're good. They should dominate, but the line looks pretty high. Dino Babers is great when laying these big numbers. He's 7-2 against the spread when laying 20 or more points. So that's pretty attractive on their part, but man, it's getting just a little bit high for me. I think I'm going to have to come in here. I think I'm going to come in on Western Michigan at 23.5. I'll take the Broncos. All right. Did he say worry about the Syracuse coach? Dino covers these spreads, no doubt about it. Man, 7-2, laying 20.5 points. All right, here's Miami of Ohio going up against UMass. And this one, I'm showing that Miami of Ohio is a favorite here by 7, and the total 43.5. Game number 329, 330. So skipping around the board here a little bit on some of these games. All right. And this one, this is about as high as the line has been so far on Miami of Ohio. I showed Miami of Ohio as low as a 5.5-point favorite, and now they're favored in this one by 7. There was some widely reported steam on Miami of Ohio. The total here, 43.5, is definitely at a low point. It does seem like a very sharp side, and there was steam that came in on the under in this game. So I think when I look at that the total continues to go lower, I want to respect that move at this point. Man, this is a really tough one for me. See if we can't get some information on this game that'll maybe. I'm on the edge on this one. This is these teams used to play, I don't know, 10 years ago maybe. Let's see. For UMass, they played 2 games already. They beat New Mexico State 41-30. They were a 7-point road dog in that one, but then they lost, of course, that game to Auburn 59-14 as a 35.5-point road dog. So interesting there. They'll be back home finally for a game. They trailed in that one against Auburn 31-7. Miami, of course, lost to the Canes last week 38-3 as 16.5-point underdogs, and they were out-yarded by 280 or so yards. It was only 16-3 at halftime of that game. Remember, the Red Storm were in that game. The Miami of Ohio was in that game, and man, these teams are relatively close here on this. That total is dropping rapidly. I'm going to go over in this one. Just think it's gone too low. I know the sharps hit this one on the under hard. I know there's some very sharp guys out there too that have taken the under in this one, but too far for me. 43.5. I got to give out a play. I think Miami of Ohio is going to win, but I pretty much have them about a 7-point favorite in this one. I think they can get there. If anything, I think it is going to be Miami of Ohio's ability to probably make this game go over and possibly cover the spread, maybe even winning by double digits. But with that spread going down, I'll take the over as my free play here. But I think I am leaning towards Miami of Ohio, and I do want to get a little bit more information on that game. And I'm still looking sharply at Miami of Ohio in that game. All right, here's a mismatch as the home team here. UNLV goes on to take on Michigan here in this one. We'll see here, right? Michigan's 37-point favorite now. They opened as low as, I don't know. I want to say it was 34 on the bottom. And the total here at 58, that definitely got steamed up. It does seem like that opening number, which was, I think, here around 55.5, was too low at the time. That one started to get pushed up heavily as well. So feels like it's going to be a pretty good day for Michigan, quite frankly. Look, I think I think things could move. I think things could progress for the UNLV program in the future. But right now, it just seems like when these teams go into the big house, it's just not a comfortable situation at all. They did play once before. It was like 10 years ago, so not too worried about that. Last week, let's see, Michigan won 30-3. Remember, over East Carolina. Everybody's kind of hot on East Carolina a little bit. Maybe the Sharps were. Michigan outgained the Pirates by 170 yards in that one, but they only rushed for 122 yards. But they were throwing the ball with McCarthy. And, we know that maybe this is a little bit different. Michigan, 9 different receivers caught passes in the game, and there were only 4 incompletions against ECU. For head coach Odom, the Rebels, they beat Bryant University 44-14 as a 16.5-point favorite, but the yardage was pretty much tied at 400 yards apiece. UNLV led 24-0 at halftime and led in yardage by about 60 yards. UNLV rushed for 283 yards in the game, but now they're going up against Michigan here. I don't know about that. I imagine Michigan's going to stomp them by 40 points or more, and just feel that way. I want to hope UNLV, getting a little bit more in tune with the program, being here in Las Vegas, seeing the local coverage certainly, but this doesn't feel right here in this one. Michigan played without their offensive coordinator last week. I don't know if that was, I'm not too worried. They're playing East Carolina. I'll take Michigan here, and I'll have to lay 37 points. No value, right? Could have laid. I don't think I could have ever gotten 34, just not sharp enough to get on some of these early numbers. And plus, my show's right now. So I'll lay 37 points with Michigan. The line is the line. I got Michigan winning this one. 55-14, something, I'm thinking right somewhere. That's 55. Does that work? 55-7, 55-10, 55-14. That still works, right? That's 41. 55-14, maybe. That's way over. Hope I'm not giving anything away there. All right, next up, we've got Texas A&M going up against the Hurricanes now. One of the feature matchups, certainly, of the weekend. A&M on the road here, favored by 4, and the total 51 in this one. These teams look to be even improved off of last season, especially offensively. Look at this total, continuing to move up at 51. I think it opened mostly around 49 at the shops that come to market late, but there was early 46 and a half to be had on a look ahead, but I don't think that was ever really available to the general market here, because we know that these teams are much improved. It's always been trouble for Miami going up against SEC teams. They've lost 5 of their last 6 games against the SEC, covering just 2 of those. Last year, the Aggies lost. They were outgained in the game by 130 yards. And the Canes had 5 field goals in the game. They missed 2 field goals in the game, so they just couldn't get into the end zone really at all. Final score was 17-9, but I expect more points this time. I think for sure. Fisher always dominated the Canes at FSU. I think the Canes fans know that. Didn't always cover, though. I think that was the thing. Miami hung in there in some of those games. Give them credit for that. But still, there were some blowouts, certainly, when Jimbo was with FSU. Both teams looked good last week for sure. Let's see. A&M, dominated against New Mexico 52-10, covering 38 points. They scored on their first 5 drives of the game. Wegman had 5 touchdown passes. Miami, of course, we just talked about them. They won that game, and they also limited the Miami O to just 9 first downs. So, look, this Miami team is much improved, but I think this is a tough ask. I'm going to go over in this one. I might be on A&M here, especially if it's 4. I've got it more than 4, folks. I'll show you that right now. But I'm going to go over before this one gets away, and I want to be on this total. I don't think it's going to go much over 51. It's going to be my free play, though, here on the morning steam with Mindy Hahn and Ramon Scott. All right. And I'll take over as my play here, A&M and Miami. All right. Next up, I could skip the Iowa State game. I did have one, though. Mindy and I, we covered it pretty well. I'm not even put the graphic up there, but I don't want them to make another video necessarily out of the game. But Iowa, man, has been dominating that series, certainly of late. All right, let's get to, Texas State. Texas State with off the big win over Baylor. I think they're for real. I mean, for real as far as like a revamped team, one of the teams that took, the transfer portal and seriously. And yeah, we've heard Dabo, what he said this week about the transfer portal. And, I think for me, when you talk about Texas State, like the number 2 team behind Colorado, as far as like power rating adjustment, I think so far, but I think that I don't want to say old school handicappers, because I'm one of them, but I don't know if they're adjusting quickly enough for the transfer portal. And I think that's why we're hearing this wild dichotomy on a team like Colorado, right? Because of the changes, and it's been a topic of discussion on the show across the street as well. But again, big turnover, on the roster can lead to massive changes. And that's maybe what we've seen here with Texas State. Here, look, Texas State, and I don't want to talk them up too much. I mean, this is still the Roadrunners, and the Roadrunners are 13.5-point favorites because we saw the incredible season that they had last year. They were one of the most fun teams, to watch in the country, certainly. So this one opened as low as 11. We're now looking at 13.5 here. The total is 66.5. This is as high as certainly it's ever been. I get it, especially after seeing all the points last week that Texas State put up in the game there against Baylor. I mean, they were going crazy with the and blowing them out. So it was a wild game. I'm not so sure though with this one if I can see necessarily the total's gone maybe through the roof for me a little bit. Maybe my numbers on this are a little off, but at 66.5 now, I feel like it's going a bit too high. I'm going to end up on the under in this one with we know the Roadrunners throw it all over the yard. I've got my the stat and the recap here, and it would sound like I'm contradicting myself here a little bit if I tell you the kind of the preview of the game, because it does seem to indicate that the move might be right here by the public, but I feel like it's just gone a little bit too high with these two teams, and I'm going to have to go under in this one with Texas State and UTSA. We'll see if this Texas State team is for real. I kind of feel like in a way that maybe they just got Baylor in a awkward spot last week, but if this line is going to continue to go up, I'm going to maybe find no other way. UTSA leads the all-time series 4-0, but 3 of the 4 games have been decided by 7 points or less. They didn't play last year. They didn't play last 2 years, actually. So those games were just a few years back. And I think Texas State a much improved program right now. And, can UTSA replicate that great season from last year, I imagine that they could. They did lose to Houston 17-14, even though they outgained Houston. But Harris had 3 interceptions in the game. Texas State, new head coach. So the defense could definitely use some work. I'm still going to go under 66.5. All right. Me and hey, good to see you, Dave. Who do you like? He likes the under in the game tonight between Kansas City and Detroit. I think he's just saying, look, I mean, there's no doubt that these totals inflated on Thursday Night Football. We talked about it just a few minutes ago, Dave, with Mindy, and basically saying, go look at the average scores in Kansas City. Their defense, we know they're, not they're actually a great defense, and they're kind of like an unheralded defense a little bit, right? Maybe we don't give them enough credit like we should for the champs, but the average scores of their games are, like in the mid 40s, usually at home. That's where they land. And here you're getting basically at least a touchdown better than that. Should have figured it out, asked about the WNBA, and there is one game. We did preview it about 20 minutes ago, so just back it up. Got a few more here, and wow, look at this one with Ole Miss and Tulane. Wow, this should be interesting with these two teams, especially with what happened last week. Ole Miss here on the road, a 7.5-point favorite, and the total 67.5. And let's take a look here. So this is definitely as high as this line has been right now. In Mississippi, they did open as low as 4. Mostly it opened, I'd say 6 in the general markets, but there were some early releases on some locales that did have this one as low as 4. So for me, I think when taking a look here, the total all the way up to 67, man, this thing is through the roof. Whew. Man, they've really been hitting this one. I'm having trouble finding this game in my. Did they move the time on this game? No, there it is. Okay. All right, just make sure here on this one. With these two, I'm pretty sure know which way I want to go. But that number, I had these graphics prepared, and now all of a sudden that number is kind of scaring me. But man, 67, I want to go over. I really want to go over. That's the way I want to go, and I might just end up doing it on the show here as my free pick. I was going to talk about how Mississippi, we know they're going to be able to move the football and have a pretty good offense, and certainly Tulane also should have pretty strong numbers here. So just feel like I got jobbed a little bit here at 67. So, man, you got to think way back in the day let's see here. All right, Tulane, it was 37-17 victory last week in that anticipated game. They really took care of business. I mean, it was expected to be, a really great game with South Alabama, and Tulane just mashed them. Tulane's looking really good right now, no doubt about it. At this point, that's probably, but Ole Miss taking the action here. I don't know. I know there's some sharp guys that are going to be on Ole Miss here. Tulane did look pretty good. They outgained South Alabama by 170 yards. Pratt looks like the man at this point. He had 4 touchdowns. So for Ole Miss, they're pretty good. They're pretty good, and they've covered 15 of their last 17 games. Tulane has. Tulane has covered 15 of their last 17. So they've been absolutely money, and the money's been coming in on Mississippi here. So, all right. I'm going to take the over. Man, the 67. Jeez. Exercise caution there. I want the over. It opened as low as 61.5. I mean, it was hit immediately. There's a lot of sharp guys on the over in this game. I was opening at 64. It's 67. like the over here. I like this one to be a massive shootout. So, hey, Chris Alvarez, nice to have you. Dave says Mississippi by 10. And Diddy says, I'll take Ole Miss. All right. Next up, here's UTEP going to take on Northwestern. That was Flop City for Northwestern in that first game. I was proud of the players for doing a great job, but the distractions may have been too much. It did look like they actually played pretty well considering those circumstances. I actually wasn't disappointed with the end result, even though to me there was, a loss. So no problem there. I expect now actually Northwestern to come back and look good in this game. In fact, UTEP, a 1.5 point favorite in this game. I'm interested in Northwestern, I think for sure. UTEP doesn't play well against these big conferences. They never do. They're 6-16 against the spread, against the Power 5 schools, and they're 0-22 in their last 22 games against Power 5 schools. So that's where I'm leaving it at. I'm taking Northwestern. I mean, I could go into it a little further if you'd like. You guys can't stop me, but I don't. I could just leave it at that. Got a few other excuses here as why they'll crush them. Not to mention Northwestern. Sometimes they get off to slow starts, but I think that game last week there was so much emotion built into that game. Might not have been as evident on the air because of being a road game at Rutgers. They lost 24-7 as a 6-point dog, but they rallied. I think they rallied around this coach a little bit. UTEP did have they shut out Incarnate Word last week. UTEP's played 2 games actually. They played Incarnate Word and outgained them big time in the second half. And I'm gonna take Northwestern here. I feels like a premium, you guys, actually, and I'm gonna give it out here right now on the show. Maybe just a little bit of trepidation because of the circumstances. Might still be tough for some people to figure out getting to the window. So Dave's going to take Northwestern. Thomas, Northwestern had a hazing incident that involved pretty much half of the players, or at least there was discipline to players in the program, and basically got a long tenured coach fired because of what really is determined to be lack of oversight in the program. So, and it was, when you're talking about the type of abuse that went on, it's not comfortable to even talk about. That it just, hurts the program's reputation. Here's the kicker on this. I don't mean to be flippant, but don't do stuff in a school that has like the best journalism, one of the best, one of the top 3 journalism schools in the country. They'll find out. They'll get to the bottom of it, right? Don't do it. Right? Don't do it. Don't do it at Missouri. Don't do it at Northwestern. Don't do it at Syracuse. Where else? All right. Here we go. And that's my college rejection list. I think here I am. All right. Here's Marshall going up against East Carolina in this one. And we have Marshall on the road here. Or be schlepping picks. Marshall, a 3-point favorite in this one. And the total here. Oh, I'm sorry. No, Marshall, 3-point favorite. I thought I was going to wrap it up. I want to get through a few more. I want to get through this time segment as well. I'm ready to go on this game. Marshall, 3-point favorite here on the road against East Carolina. And in this one, I'm showing Marshall at -3. They have definitely taken the action here. There's steam coming in on Marshall. I'm not sure necessarily where it's coming from. I don't have any problem with that East Carolina game. I'm almost willing to throw it out. You saw some moments of a decent defense, I think, there against East Carolina. I know what you're saying about Michigan's offensive coordinator being out, but the moves come in on Marshall, no doubt about it. I figure there feels like value here to me on East Carolina at this point. And this total has dropped big time here. I might be saving East Carolina, to be honest with you. don't want to tip my hand here. I do want to make some sales this weekend, but do feel like this might be a decent spot between these two. These teams have played before, so I think the offenses are relatively even, but I'm going to end up on East Carolina in this one, even off the 30-3 loss against Michigan in the Big House. And I'm going to all right, I'll take East Carolina. I let the cat out of the bag. I guess I can't turn back now. I think that was going to be a premium. So, freemium, there's enough games. I'll have enough plays, believe me. I do. I like the over a lot, and I don't know if I like the over so much anymore, so maybe I will just back off. Steam came in on the under. It was as high as 48.5 on the openers. The general market opener was 46. Now it's 43. It's close for me. I would say at this point, it's just about run its course. 41 is kind of where my computer says. So proceed with caution. Just thinking about giving out the under there as a free play here. So, yeah, Tommy, we had Mindy back today. Thank you. David says take Marshall. Marshall has a decent team every year. We had Mindy back. Just rewind the video. Talked about baseball. We talked about the Chiefs at length in the game tonight, and we agreed to take the Chiefs minus 4.5. We know she's a Chiefs fan, but that doesn't matter. She, I think her record was proven last year, and especially in the spots where she faded the Chiefs. Okay. Kent and Arkansas thread the needle here a little bit, 38 and 58.5. So we're not got a pretty big eye here on this one with Kent going up against Arkansas. Right now it's 38, 58.5. This is pretty much as high as the spread's gotten for Arkansas. They were as low as 35 on the opener at some establishments. The total here is down to 58.5. That's been moved as well by as many as 4 points here in this one. This total's gone down about 4 points from the opening total. So got the move on Arkansas and the move on the under. I'm not sure I'm understanding the move on the under in this one, given what we've seen so far with these two teams. I think right now I'm thinking about let's see here. Arkansas getting that win over Western Carolina, 35-3. They led at halftime. They outgained Western Carolina by 160 yards in the first half. Jefferson, 3 TD passes for Arkansas. They also had a pick 6 in the game. They covered the spread, which was 34.5 points last week, and they covered 56-13. So that was 69 points, and this total's dropping. So we'll see. Kent State, this is a little bit of a payday game, I would guess, a little bit here. They have, remember we talked about Kent State, the least experienced team in the country. The 4 or 5 starters returning, whatever it was. And I don't know, though, with Arkansas, they could overlook this matchup here, right? 38.5. Man, the most they won any game last year was by 17 points, and they haven't defeated a FBS team by 40 points in 12 years. So this is the fact that Kent State is one of the lowest ranked teams in the country, but that is a pretty notable statistic. Now, it doesn't mean because Arkansas is not going out there in many games favored by, to win games by this many points, but interesting to note that hasn't happened in that span of time. So I'm going to be on Kent State here. And I just have Arkansas maybe putting on the brakes a little bit here. Kent State lost to UCF by 50 points, and they did not cover a 35-point spread. So Arkansas can name the score here. I just have them maybe putting on the brakes a little bit. I'll take Kent plus 38 in this one. But I think I'm going to like the total a little bit more. Dave might be on the Razorbacks. Thomas will be with me. I have a feeling that I think the spread might even go up. I think I think it could continue to climb, and if that total keeps going lower, I'm going to be on the over. It may even qualify for a premium here. I would think. I think Arkansas does put up points, but they might give some up here. You saw, what it said. Not being able to get those 40-point win, if you will. Okay, let me spit it out. All right, Tulsa here goes up against Washington in this one. So, Washington, they got to play some crazy games from teams and from all over and get used. But they're at home here in this one. They're favored by 34.5. Let's see. Yeah, 34, maybe 34 now. The total 65.5 in this one with Tulsa and Washington. All right. Well, this is one of those ugly ones here, certainly again. Maybe I should have quit while I was ahead. This one opened. There were some openers as low as 30, but I think for the most part, you end up laying about 34 points here with Washington. There was some steam that came in on Tulsa because the spread I saw as high as 35.5, and now it's back down to 34.5. This total maybe has bounced around a little bit. The reported steam did come in on the under in this game, but now it's settled at 65.5. I've seen a window here of 67.5 to 64.5. So I don't know where I sit necessarily on the total in this one, but Tulsa here, they played Thursday last week. They played Pine Bluff. They didn't cover. They were favored by 40 points. They won 42-7. Braxton had a couple of picks, and he was injured. Tulsa trailed early. The backup came in. He's a freshman, and then they scored 4 touchdowns. So we'll see if Cardell Williams. We'll see what's going on here in this game with Tulsa. But I mean, they're up against the Huskies, and we know Penix, 450 yards, 5 touchdowns last week in the win over Boise, 56-14. They blew them out in the second half. It was 28-12 at halftime. Boise was winning early. Boise was winning at one point, 9-7. Now Huskies got a big one on deck. They're going to go to East Lansing next week. We'll see. Look, I think they'd still rather have Braxton. We'd rather have Braxton in there at this point. Williams was facing an FCS team, and they were 40-point favorites. So you definitely want Braxton in here and not making his first start here in this one. But I do want to know about the status of the quarterback. I'm going to give out Tulsa here in this one, and I think it's still going to be based on, look, the line may move even further if Braxton is officially ruled out, because I think right now it's questionable and may even get more points out of it. I'm going to be playing the spot here on Tulsa with Washington. Got a trip to Michigan State on deck. This is a game, home game, the non-conference home games. This is when you play, some other guys a little bit too. This is a chance, because once you get into the regular season, there's no guarantees. So these spots, when you see these, I promise you, it's not a blanket statement, but when you're laying this many points in these first couple of games, thank you, Dave. We haven't planned on when we're doing NFL yet, but got Mindy back, and we're going to get back into a more consistent program, and thankful to have her back. Thank you for your contributions today. So, just reserves get in there more frequently in the, last home game before you get into the big, conference games sometimes, and you just don't know if they'll get a chance to play. So sometimes that's what you do when you're up 49-7, you're up 49-14, 56-14, something like that. That's what happens. So I'm going to take Tulsa here in this one. All right, and we've got Appalachian State going to take on North Carolina. And in this one, I've got the Heels favored here by 19 points. and the total is 58. This one's kind of down on the list a little bit, 363, 364. All right. For North Carolina, this spread has just been going through the roof at this point. North Carolina now a 19-point favorite. What the heck is going on here? Probably should do a little further investigating. I do got some notes here on this game, but this one opened mostly in the general markets around 15.5, but there was some early release numbers as low as 13, and the total here at 58 is kind of settled in the middle now. It was as low as 56.5. Took some widely reported steam all the way up to 61, but here's some buyback now at 58. So interesting to note. Appalachian State, I mean, they can be pretty tough, but man, when North Carolina gets rolling, they sure do look good. I feel like this is just getting to be too many points. So, I mean, App State's a decent, program. So we'll see in this one. Look, I will note that these teams have played before. In fact, one game last year, it was last year's game. This is talk about burying the lead. 63-61 last year. Remember that game? Now I remember. The fourth quarter was just back and forth. I think it was a record of points in the fourth quarter. Man, I want to say there was 60 points scored going back and forth in the fourth quarter of that game. So that was a wild one. UNC beat the Gamecocks last week, 31 South Carolina Gamecocks 31-17, and had 9 quarterback sacks. App State was up against Gardner-Webb, and they were having some issues. They did pull away for a 45-24 win. They were up by just 7. Aguiar 4 touchdown passes. So in this one, I'm going to take those points, man. I know this team came in on the over. I don't know if there's any value on it. In fact, I probably think that's not going to. That was an anomaly last year. I feel like I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed the line didn't stay up at 61. Maybe there's some sharp money that feels the way I do about it because I don't think it's going to happen again that way. All right, that's it. Thanks a lot, you guys, for joining me, and thank you so much to Mindy. If you're there, we can talk after the show, and thank you, everybody, for all your greetings for her as well. And I'm sorry we made her upset. Not upset, you know what I mean. Made her feel good at the beginning. I'm not sorry, but that just shows everyone liking her. Thanks, you guys. Appreciate it. We'll catch you with more Morning Steam. Mindy will be back tomorrow for one show, and then we'll let her get some rest. Thanks, everybody, for sticking around for these college football previews, and we'll catch you tomorrow with more Morning Steam. Hey, don't forget, head on over to Tony'sPicks.com. Mindy and I are going to get up our premium picks for today. We'll find a few premium picks, even on this short card. Head on over to Tony'sPicks.com. Check out our premium picks. Don't forget there the All Cappers tab, where you'll find all the latest games in chronological order, including the late Steam games. Check out our premium plays, and don't forget to get our click on the All Cappers tab, find the handicapper of your choice, get signed up. Use that promo code TonyT and check out. Hey, I just got some breaking news right here. Mindy's waiting for me backstage, but hey, if you're looking at your odds screen right now, Mindy and I were talking about the game between Iowa and Iowa State. Now, one thing we did not mention in there, and I don't think this has anything to do with it. I'll go take a look at the news cycle here, but Iowa is on the move as we speak. I'm seeing this line on Iowa currently moving. I think they're buying it. I think they're buying up these 3.5s right now on Iowa. So we'll see. I don't, we didn't talk, like I said, we didn't necessarily talk about the betting scandal at Iowa State and maybe how it would affect this. Again, we were joking about how this game would be an under game totally, but just want to note right now, I'm seeing some big time movement on this game on Saturday. No, I won't say big time, but moving off, possibly moving off the 3.5. The screen's starting to light up here on Iowa. So All right, it's going to do it. Appreciate it. For Mindy Hahn, I'm Ramon Scott. Thank you for joining us.